What's up, YouTube? We got a yo-yo review to do today. This is the Throwco debut. So, Throwco debut is the brainchild of our friend in the yo-yo community, Mr. Devin Flores. He has a wonderful idea and had some renders done up and everything for his debut yo-yo, and here it is. So his company, Throwco, released this just very recently, last week. Mine showed up about a day or so before release, and then I got real busy. Sorry, I should have probably had this review done earlier, but I have it now, and here we are. So let's get into the specs of this thing. So width is 43.3 millimeters. Diameter is 55.8 millimeters. The weight comes in at 66.2 grams. It is 6061 aluminum. Has a C-sized center track bearing in it. It is in an 8-ball bearing. 19 millimeter response pads. 4.4 millimeter gap. Designed in the USA, made in China. So, cool, right? Overall, this is just kind of a fun organic yo-yo. I got a few yo-yos up here. I'm going to kind of tell you what it feels like combinations of to me. I've been enjoying this. I've been carrying it around, throwing it. Everybody at Yo-Yo Club's like, wow, this is just kind of a fun, floaty yo-yo. It's a little on the heavy side for its size. It feels kind of meaty, but it doesn't feel like a rock. It's just kind of like floaty and heavy. I don't know. It's good though. I'm enjoying it. I'm liking it. It feels different, but it's got a lot of cool things that other yo-yos have had in the past. So first thing I'm going to compare it to is the Grail. You'll notice that while the diameter isn't as big as the Grail and it's not quite as wide, it's sort of a larger organic shaped yo-yo than like the Grail is in that regard. So you kind of get a little bit of a bigger yo-yo, and sort of the hand feel is very similar to the Grail in that respect. Anyway, now cups are totally different. Doesn't really feel like that on the string, but sort of get a sort of similar hand feel. Additionally, this is what I was talking about as far as the size. You'll notice that this is pretty much what most organic yo-yos, this is about their full size, about 54 millimeters and this wide and so forth. This is the Unspoken Murmur. You can see it's bigger than the Murmur by a good bit, wider as well than the Murmur by a good bit. So, you know, if you have a lot of like yo-yos of this size and shape that are organic, I feel like this is the size that most of my organics are. This is going to be a very nice, different feel, but still organic and still is going to play kind of floaty with that sort of medium high wall feel, which a lot of people like. I kind of like it too. It's a nice change of pace, I would say. So let's look at the inner cup here now. So it kind of swoops in a little bit, and I didn't get it out, but it kind of reminds me of sort of the way One Drop does their cup design. Like all the weight's not up at the tip of the rim, it kind of swoops in a little bit and is a little bit more around the middle of the rim. It kind of almost has that little bump up here like the 888s did back in the day. So it's just kind of a good combination of a bunch of good yo-yos, and what came out of it was a yo-yo that plays different than all those yo-yos, but it's still going to feel and look very familiar and very fun to you. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate all of the different design aspects that went into this. And the price is good too. 55 bucks. Gotta love that, right? And they all come in this awesome black color. I think black's a good color for yo-yos. It just looks classy, and you know, is always a good color to have. You can't go wrong with a black yo-yo, right? Any color string will work on it. You know, you can't go wrong with it. But let's go ahead and throw it around. I'll show you guys what this thing can do. All right, guys, we are back with the Throwco debut. So first thing you're going to notice on throwing this is that while a lot of organic yo-yos are kind of small and light, this kind of feels full size and meaty. So it doesn't feel small at all. It doesn't feel small in the string. It doesn't feel like light. Kind of feels like like it's got some solid solidity behind it. We'll go with that. Solid solidity. Grind finish is great. I love the bead blast finish. I like that it's just good. That's a good grind finish. No complaints there. Nice for arm grinds. Nice for finger grinds. Easy to control. Just looks good, feels good, it is good. Not the stablest Yo-Yo, but not the least stable either. Can handle a little bit of, you know, throwing around. You got to kind of pay attention, keep it on plane, so it doesn't, like, you know, because there's not that much rim weight per se. The weight's kind of tucked back a little bit. So it's not unstable, but it's not, like, incredibly stable. But gets the job done. It's kind of a chill, it's not a competition yo-yo, just kind of a chill, fun yo-yo. Bind's real nice. If anything, the gap being a little bit tight, and the pads being the like smoky silicone ones. I'll show you guys when we take it apart. Out of the box, they were a little grippy. They needed to be broken in a little bit. I think they stuck out just a hair from the from the pad, so they weren't as recessed in as I would normally like to see them be. But played with it yesterday and the day before, and that basically solved the issue. That, and you're going to want to not use a super thick string because it is kind of a tight gap at 4.4 millimeters. But yeah, very nice, solid binds. Snappy, solid binds. As far as finger spins are concerned, that was a terrible one. There's nothing really to stop you, but there's nothing really to catch you either. So you can kind of get them, but not going to be your favorite finger spin yo-yo. Really not much of a finger spin yo-yo at all, especially because there's really no, like, it's not like a rim-weighted powerhouse, and that kind of helps finger spins. But so not going to be your finger spin yo-yo, that's for sure. Thumb grinds are very doable, and the finish is nice for them too. So thumb grinds, no problem. Same thing, talon grinds, not going to have any trouble. Unless you grab it like a dummy like I just did. But, yeah. Great finish. You're going to get some good thumb grinds out of it, good talon grinds, just a lot of good everything. It's just kind of fun. It's a fun, chill yo-yo. And I can't say it's exactly like anything, but it incorporates a lot of good design elements into it. Additionally, 55 bucks. This sucker is dead smooth. Like, you can hear the bearing. It's an 8-ball bearing, but like this is like just as smooth as like a CLYW or something would be. 8-ball bearing's a little bit loud, and it sort of amplifies how loud it is off of the shape of the cup, but it's not too bad. Nice and smooth play. Smooth on strings, smooth to the touch. Nicely machined, nicely designed. I mean, really, really no complaints at all when it comes to the Throwco debut. But let's go ahead and we'll stick it on the desk. We'll pull it apart. I'll show you guys the insides, and we'll do pros and cons. Alright guys, we're back on the desk with the Throwco debut. Let's pull this bad boy apart. I'll show you guys the insides. Unscrews nicely. There we go. As you can see, center track bearing. Spins good. Those smoky response pads that I'm always like, I like these pads. Very nice and grippy. As you can see, mine almost sort of don't recess. I mean, they're starting to wear in a little bit, so they are. But they kind of, if there's going to be any con, it's that right out of the box, it is a little bit grippy. So you're going to want to use a thinner string. Think, you know, your kitty normal type size string, at least just right off the bat, because the gap is small, and these stick up just a hair, just the littlest bit. And so you're going to want to use thin string right off the bat, just to get the right response out of it. You're not going to want to throw a big fat like XL string on here. You're going to have a hard time. But nice thin string on here, you're going to have a good time. I'm using the normal Ziplines, having no issues with it. Very, very, very good. No issue at all. And yeah, so comes apart nice. As you can see, there's a better shot of sort of the little design. There's a little step up kind of right into the pad, so that's kind of cool too. A little bit, just a tiny little step, but keeps it off the wall there. Just a pretty simple general organic shape with this sort of like bumped up rim, I guess is the way to say it, because it's not adding much rim weight at all. It's just kind of bumped up there. Really is a cool look overall. Like, it looks really good. I just think it's a good looking yo-yo as well. It's very aesthetically pleasing. I like that they're all black. Black's a good color. You can't go wrong with a black yo-yo. And, you know, it's got great everything else. Goes back together nice, tight at the end. You know, no, what do you complain about? It comes apart, goes back together. I've taken it apart a bunch, put it back together a bunch, not having any issues with it, none at all. So let's do pros and cons. Pros. Nice, floaty, fun, organic yo-yo. Different than a lot of other organics out on the market right now. And how different can you get really with an organic? But this one kind of isn't like anything else, at least nothing else that I have. And that's a lot of what I've heard from a lot of other people. Like, it's different, I like it. And that's, I would agree. It's very, the blasted finish, the bead blast finish is great. They did a great job with that. Pads are nice, nice and grippy pads, no issues there. In fact, if anything, you're going to want to kind of be weary and not let it be too grippy right out of the box. So use a little bit of a thinner string. Maybe that's a con, maybe it's not really, depending on what size strings and what kind of strings you like to use. Your standard, you know, kitty normal, kitty 1.5 should work just fine. The cup is a nice design here. I like where the rim weight is. It kind of gives it an interesting feel, kind of an interesting, sort of floaty, but also very solid all at the same time. Might be weird to say that out loud, but if you disagree with me, tell me down in the comments. How would you describe the play of this yo-yo if you've played it? But I think it's cool. And, you know, as far as cons are concerned, there really aren't any. I mean, it comes with the center track bearing, which is my preferred bearing shape. Blast is great. You know, thumb grinds. It's a fun organic. If you're looking for a fun organic at like 55, 60 bucks, 55 bucks, I mean, you can't go wrong with this. This is a nice, fun organic yo-yo. It's black. It looks good. It plays good. It's not the most stable yo-yo, but most organics aren't. Not the fastest playing yo-yo, but again, most organics aren't, and that's not really what you design an organic yo-yo to do. You sort of design them to be fun and floaty, but also just kind of able to do the things you want it to do. Now, there's nothing to catch you in rejections or string bounces or anything like that. I guess I didn't say that while I was bouncing it around on the string, but a lot of yo-yos tend to get caught up. But, you know, nice high-walled organic yo-yos. It rejects really well. It, you know, does all that stuff. It nimbly goes from string to string, doesn't really get caught up. And I like that. I like that about it. I like this yo-yo. I've been playing it a good bit since it showed up, and I gotta say, it's been fun. It's a fun yo-yo, and I've been enjoying it immensely. But you should check them out. I've got all the links down in the description for Throwco. They've got all kind of stuff besides a yo-yo. They've got a yo-yo, they've got some hoodies, they've got sweatshirts, they've got t-shirts, they've got all that good stuff. And, you know, I think what t-shirts are between 17 and 20 bucks, depending on the shirt you pick, and the debut is 55. So you're going to want to get some stuff. Go ahead, order some stuff from Throwco. They've got some nice stuff out there, and he's a cool dude. So appreciate you sending this over, Devin. Thank you so much, sir. But thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. I do videos. I try to do videos every day. I miss sometimes, but you know, stuff gets in the way. But thanks for watching, guys. Cheers to you. I'll see you next time.